Hi UB2 Recently, this week, I fitted a 12 volt to 230 volt 500 watt inverter to my Talbot Express motorhome. And I've had a few people saying, well, why did I fit a 500 watt when I've got a 1500 watt? Or I could fit a larger one. Well, this is not an easy answer, but I'm going to try and go over it. Now, in my van, we don't have a TV and we don't have anything really that consumes an awful lot of wattage at 230 volt. The only thing I have got, well, there's about 3 or 4 things. One is my electric shaver. Although it's rechargeable, it can only be charged from 230 volt, and that's quite low power. The other thing I've got is an inspection lamp, and that can be charged from 230 volt. And I'm trying to think what else there is. There's just a few small things. There's nothing large. There's no cooking equipment or anything like that, or heating equipment. So I fitted the 500 watt inverter. Although this is a 1.5 kilowatt one, it's slightly smaller than the 500 watt one. But the 500 watt one I was given has several advantages to it. One, it was free. 2, it was standard issue to telecoms engineers for them to carry around in their vans. So it's quite a well-made unit. The other thing with it is, on the front, as well as having the normal 13 amp socket, it's also capable of accepting the 2-pin shaver plug and also some of the non-standard European plugs as well. So the socket's like a multi-purpose socket. The other thing, what I liked about it, is when it's switched off, it doesn't consume any power. None at all. When it's switched on and nothing connected, it consumes about 200 milliamp. So if I left it on by mistake and nothing was connected to it, it wouldn't be too bad on the battery. Now, the other thing is, with our motorhome, it's only got one leisure battery. And you can imagine, if I fitted a 1500 watt inverter and tried to use it at high power, say for example a kilowatt, that would be drawing 100 amp from a 100 amp battery. And as I don't want to do that, I don't want to fit extra batteries, I didn't think there was any point in fitting. And something else you have to consider is with these. Now, I'm talking from experience from the ones I've owned. Some of the more modern ones are more sophisticated nowadays. When these are switched on, these inverters, they can consume up to a couple of amps without any load, especially on the bigger high power ones. And what happens is, as well, it's difficult to explain this. Okay, let's start a little bit again. With these inverters, when you switch them on, they go into like a standby mode. And what I mean by that is, unless there's a power load connected to them, they draw very little current. They actually shut down to a standby mode. And there is a minimum power on these units. So for example, if you've got a 1500 watt inverter or 3 kilowatt inverter, and you only put something on it which is 3 watts, you may find that it automatically assumes nothing's connected and goes to a standby mode. So as well as having a maximum power rating, they have a minimum power rating. And the higher power the unit, the less sensitive it is to a load being attached. So for example, you could have a phone you plugged into a 3 kilowatt inverter and it won't sense something's been plugged in. It will still be in standby mode. Now the lower the power of the inverter, the less the minimum power is. So if you plugged half a watt load into 150 watt, it would probably work okay. So as well as having a maximum wattage, it has a minimum to get it from stopping going to standby. So I'll just go over that again. So if you've got a 1.5, 2 kilowatt inverter, you plug something which doesn't take a lot of power into it, it may not sense that's been plugged in and it won't switch on to its away from its standby position to full power. The smaller wattages units don't suffer with that problem. So the 500 watt I fitted, one, when it's switched off it doesn't consume any power. Number two, when it's in standby mode and nothing's connected, it has a low power draw. 3, it doesn't suffer with very low power being attached to it. 4, it's not taking masses of amps from my single battery. I suppose 5, because it was meant for telecoms engineers as a standard carry in their vans to power soldering irons and their test equipment, it's better made, although it's a bit old-fashioned. I suppose 6 is the fact it will take a standard shaver plug in the front and things like that. So that's hopefully answered the questions I've had why I've only fitted a 500 watt and not gone for this 1.5 kilowatt one I've got. Now I've not talked about pure sine wave inverters and things like that. For what equipment I don't have a laptop, I don't have a tablet that I use in the van, I don't have anything apart from my phone and my cameras, my shaver and a task light and things like that. I do not need anything above 500 watts. It's no point, absolutely no point fitting it. It'll also power my electric sander and it'll also work my rechargeable drill. I can't think, even the electric blanket I have, that's USB. The other thing you've got to watch with these, if they've got a USB port, when they're switched off, the USB port may be powered, so that when you put your motorhome in storage, you may find that the USB circuitry is still drawing power from your battery. So unless you've got a master isolation switch, you could find you're flattening your battery. I hope this is useful. Home is where you park it. Please subscribe and like.